Walter Brueggemann was my Old Testament professor, so I had the great chance to be able to study with him when I was at Columbia Seminary. And I remember in Brueggemann's Old Testament class when we were studying the prophets, and we used his great book, the prophetic imagination. We used that as our textbook. And I remember Brueggemann talking in class several times about how that the challenge that the prophets had was to increase the imaginative capacity of the people. That the prophets would see the lay of the land, see how we live, see what the social what the constraints were, what the struggles were, what the tensions were. And then the prophet's job was to increase, as he would say, what people had at their fingertips. And I loved that. That made so much sense to me. And that image really is a root one for me in that sense, to go back to say, what is it that we do? That this isn't just, they're not a series of tasks. Church isn't just a series of tasks. Like at its heart, at its core, for me, church as a gathered body is about increasing the imaginative, what the capacity is of us. So that really is a grounding piece for me, I think. And it's how I understand what spirituality is getting on the level of the heart and on that deeper level of how we actually live day to day, and how what we do in terms of church actually transforms the way we live in the world. And I think part of where parishes trip up, to put it that way, is the expectation that what we're after is new members. This is another part of the kind of narrative that's running through all this, is to say, if we're only planning things to bring folks in who will transfer to the parish because our real goal is to have more members, that's going to limit greatly our imaginations. That's relying more on our rational mind, I think, and being clever. But if we can trust and open up and take a risky space and see that as a service, to say, what does it mean that grace is a space in that part of the state who can invite someone in to do a sound bath, to look at sound and movement in our bodies and how we can be healed? And who will that actually invite into the space that we use all the time, who may or may not come back, but will know that they were welcome there, and to leave that to trust and see what the Spirit has in store. That to me is that's on the Spirit side. That's the Spirit's job.